Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and these are really not as bad as they seem. I saw these, and in my pursuit of the number of features you could put on a pair of pliers, I count at least 25 different features, and that's of course counting each one of these individually as well as these. But I started playing around figuring this would be kind of a learning experience maybe, but it turns out for a lot of basic things, this is not as bad as I thought it would be. So what we've got, I don't know how you say the brand, O-U-D-I-S-I, Udusi or something. It does have a little registered trademark right there for what that's worth. It's a spring-loaded pair of strippers, crimpers with various sized kind of bolt or nut grabbing. It's got a knife here, it's got cutters in here, it's got an iron wire cutter here, it's got jaws up at the top that actually work, and because of the alignment, the way you're grabbing the bolt, you can either grab it, and this is what I learned thinking this wasn't as bad as I thought, conventionally like this, but you can also come down from the top. And I guess you could consider these things somewhat sacrificial. As far as the cutters, well, they cut. In fact, it took a while. I had to cut the paint off it, or let it cut its own paint off. And then they work pretty well. This isn't too bad. If I lock this up, this is the knife blade that's on here. There's actually some knife there. That works. Not the greatest steel. This is, I think, a splitter for dual electrical lines. I haven't tried it yet. It seems like a pretty substantial inclusion into this plier for such a simple job, but it may have some other uses. I don't know. The crimping looks symmetrical. That's actually nice. This does strip. It seems to do a fairly decent job. Whoops, missed the, let me rotate it a couple of times. It does strip. As far as grabbing bolts, especially if there's a little bit of resistance, it seems to work quite well. Of course, you've got that giant beak. I'm using the 10. If you were doing the 14, good luck. You'd have to have a lot of rotation. Looks like I cut myself on it. But anyway, the idea here is that you've got this really handy, and this does work, and it works in both vertical and the horizontal dimension. Whoops, let me line that up. There we go. And the only thing I think I really figured was missing is there's no screwdriver. It would be really nice to be able to add a like a Phillips or something, or maybe have one of these tips cut into a Phillips so you could at least turn a Phillips screwdriver somehow. Can't really grab it and spin it. But otherwise, I think I paid like $8 on Amazon for these. I was just curious about them for maybe one pair of pliers that does all kinds of different things, poorly across the board, but it does do them. Also, the spring is incredibly strong. This is a beefy spring, which sometimes comes into, or sometimes becomes a little bit of an issue. And it also snaps. You can grab your finger in here if you're not careful. If you're cutting things, trying to snap off. Trying to snap stuff. Sometimes you can catch yourself in there. But overall, it's a fairly substantial $8 plier, $9 plier. And I could see this be a kind of a one-size-fits-all if you needed it for like a kind of a emergency kit or something. Maybe it only has a very small job occasionally, but it actually works. Not the greatest steel. I did notice if I put it into, well, actually, let me show you this. If I cut this, line this up, if I put this into these cutting areas here to like snip this thing off, you see that? There is a, you know, a screw in there. I don't know if it's stainless or not, but you can see it's giving in. It's a two-handed job. Anyway, so yeah, overall it's a great pair of pliers. It does seem to work fairly well. And anyway, I highly recommend it. It's a good one. Ouch. And with that, oh, just watch out. It does bite you. So, like, anyway, there it is. The Oducy. Great pair of pliers. And with that, Doc out.